Antiques Roadshow US had its first ever classic car appraisal with a Paul Newman signed Corvette Stingray. When the guest drove up for the PBS daytime series, expert Layla Dunbar couldn't help but exclaim, "Hot, hot, hot," laughing as she adds, "I mean the car, of course." After admiring the beautiful 1970 Corvette Stingray, America's sports car, the guest told the story of how it came to be in his possession thanks to a stroke of luck. There was a radio contest for who could get the most famous celebrity to call on their behalf. And I was working for a catering company at the time, and we were going to do Paul Newman's Hole in the Wall Gang Camp annual gala, raising money for kids with cancer. I asked my boss if I could ask him. He laughed and said, "There's no way he'll do it for you, but go right ahead and ask." So I asked him, and he remembered me from the years before, having helped him out with other parties that we've done, and he called. He was voted the most famous out of the 24 celebrities that called in. Some of the other famous celebrities were David Hyde Pierce and Kelsey Grammer called in together, Whoopi Goldberg called in, Rosie O'Donnell called in, and this was the prize. He then added that the following year, during another Newman event the guest was helping to run, he asked if the actor would autograph the dashboard, which he kindly did. Dunbar remarks that it was incredible Newman had done this as, despite his fame for a string of memorable movies like Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid, he was known for being reclusive and private. Delving into the history of the classic car, she continued, "The first Corvettes came out in 1953, and that's the first generation. They had a body style from 1953 to 1962. 1963 to 1967, they had the second version. This body was actually based on a concept car called the Mako Shark II. So you can see these sort of sleek, powerful lines here, sort of emulating the Shark, because who wouldn't want to have that feeling of sleekness and sexiness and power, which is the essence of the Corvette. These cars were so popular that this body style stayed relatively the same from 1968 to 1982. So 1970 was the last year of what they call high performance before emissions took over some of the power of the car. It was one of the last years that they have chrome bumpers, because in 1973, they started with the rubber bumpers.